Yeah, I'm not gonna be talking too much, and hopefully you guys don't even hear me because the amount of losses that I've taken, I don't deserve to be expressing anything about the market. But as I'm trying to understand and capitalize on opportunities, especially for the new year coming up, yeah, it's definitely necessary that you know I speak my piece or I share what is it that's on my mind as I'm going through this journey. So, and I'm convinced a lot of people are in the same journey. A lot of people are where I am mentally with this day trading thing, right? Christmas is around the corner, and to be fair with you, it's not gonna be no Tinker Bell or you know any songs. Even the Mariah Carey or the Celine Dion song is not gonna be playing. The Michael Bublé, all of that, that Spanish song, the Vida, like, like none of that's gonna be playing. Why is that? Because sometimes as a trader we take losses, and when we take losses, we can decide when it's gonna be a loss. The one thing that we cannot decide as a trader, if I can call myself that, and let me please call myself that, but briefly. As a trader, that one thing that you cannot predict, dictate, or foresee is when you are going to take that loss. We can get into like how big the loss can be and everything like that. But to be honest, I'm not trying to dwell on that. I'm not trying to dwell on how big the loss can be. For the simple fact that, you know, like Eminem said, right? We can both scream fuck the world and see who means it. So we're not gonna compare the losses. But what we're gonna compare is what that loss does to your mental state. Is the loss for you big enough to jump over the bridge? Is the loss big enough for you to curled up in the fetus position and sleep, damn near thinking about shedding tears, or even shedding tears, knowing that tomorrow that Jingle Bell song is not gonna be playing around here? You know, how big is that loss to the trader? To the person that's trading, to the person that's trying to understand how to master the market, to the person that's trying to understand the whole concept about day trading, you know. And this is where I'm at with it. So the reason why I'm recording this and not actually um, going live and talking like this, for one, because this is me trying to express, internally what is it that I feel, you know. Thus the title. This is a journal. This is what every trader has to write down whenever they take a trade, whether they won that trade, and when I say win, it's whether they are satisfied with that trade or it was a complete loss, meaning that trade had hit the stop loss before they had a chance to take a profit. That's what a loss is. And without going into how big the loss was, I'm really trying to not put the emphasis on how big the loss was, but how big that loss was to you, the person who decided to press buy or sell, and then saw that the result was the opposite outcome of what they expected. So that's a loss, and they got kicked out of that trade. That's a definite loss. So with that said, I'm recording this as a journal because as a trader, every trader has to write down a journal and to express how they were feeling when they took that trade, whether it was a win or a loss, according to their own criteria of what a loss or what a win is. And mine starts with the fact that I've blown 17 accounts already. 17 accounts already. Um, should I just go ahead and but right now, as we, I'll go ahead and show those 17 accounts that I've blown, and that's the main reason why I felt like now we're not jumping over the bridge. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, cause that's not. I don't know if you guys can see me or whoever I'm talking to. I don't know if you can see me, but my skin complexion is that of people that don't be usually just commit suicide like that. So I'm not gonna jump over the bridge because nobody's. The only reason why I'm not gonna jump over the bridge is like by me jumping over the bridge, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not hurting nobody. You know, I know a lot of people sometimes they use this. I will jump over the bridge if this and that, but they will get the intention of a family member or someone close to them as if that person now must find a solution. It's like an ultimatum. Like you don't have to tell me that you're gonna jump over the bridge. Like you go ahead and jump over the bridge, and then we'll figure out from there. But if I see you at the bridge, of course I'm gonna do everything in my capability to stop you from jumping over the bridge because I see you at the bridge about to jump out. You know, but if you have the intention of jumping over the bridge and you're telling me that you're about to jump over the bridge, what do you expect me to do? I got my own problem. You know what I mean? Like so that's how I see it, and that's how I would expect someone to see it if I ever came to a point where I'm starting to talk about, oh, I'm gonna jump over the bridge. You know, we're not jumping over the bridge. You know, so let's keep it to that. We're not jumping over the bridge, but we need to ventilate. Sometimes we just need to ventilate. So as I'm ventilating, I'm ventilating to exclude the feeling of failure or just being a straight loser at this thing that I've found and I felt passionate about, and which I'm indulging and trying to make it my sole purpose as far as activities are concerned. Like if someone called me say like, listen, let's go bowling. No, I'd rather be here looking at the chart and try to understand what's going on the chart. Or if you told me let's go to Tokyo, that's different. But as long as I can bring my laptop and still indulge in me studying the chart, that's fine. But any other thing to distract me from this day trading thing might not work out. Might not work out, you know. And I'm willing to give you any excuse possible to not indulge in anything other than me studying the chart and then execute trades. And so the wisdom, from what I understand, is that you can give someone an excuse, any excuse to do good. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean is, it's okay to give your peer, your family members, whoever on this earth an excuse to not do anything else but something that's good. So if I find myself in a situation where I'm trying to understand the market and this is where my brain is at, it's okay for me to tell you, well, I don't really care about the sushi restaurant that you're trying to, you know, go to. However, you know, I don't care about no graduation at this point. I don't care about no Christmas. I'm at the edge, right? But there's nobody to push you over the edge but yourself. Let me say that again. After losing 17 accounts, I'm at the edge where I know growing up, some of my friends would have been gone already after 7 accounts. Like, never mind 7 accounts. After 2, 3 accounts, they already jumped out. They already jumped out. Like, never mind the bridge. Just jumped over the. They went somewhere and they just jumped down. Easy, easy. So after losing 17 accounts, I feel like I'm at the edge. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. But there's nobody to push you there. There's absolutely no one there to push you. So I'm just standing there. I'm just, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. Okay, cool. But there's nobody to push you though, but yourself. So am I gonna push myself over the edge? The clear answer is no. Just because that's not in my DNA. That's not there. It's not in the DNA. I was looking for it. Like I'm still looking for it. Is it there? Where's that button for me to just jump over the bridge? It's not there. So it's not there. Genetically, it's not there. And if it was there in the past, well, I don't know like how many generations before me that was there, but eventually it just became like a farm duck that can't fly. Like it's genetically like has been removed. The capability of flying from a duck on a farm, that you can just run and catch that duck like a chicken. Yeah. Well, any thought like the thoughts of jumping over the bridge can be there, but the act of it is, like the courage is just not there. So let's leave that alone. But hopefully that explains mentally at what point in this trading journey am I speaking of. Like it's not. This is not. This is not a. This is not at a stage where you first download MT5 or you even suspicious of MT5 because before you even learn about day trading, you saw some ads, and then you saw some ads where it always ends with download MT5 or download MT4 for those that were, man, for those that were using MT4. But most of the time, it's always connected with some type of scam, right? Like forex. You heard, like, listen, if I like if I before I started trading, if I meet someone that's mentioning forex, before you even finish the word, like you got to the four, before you even open your mouth and start saying without saying the last letter X, I'm already gone out of your vision. Like I don't want to hear it. Why? Because automatically I'm connecting it with scamming. I'm connecting it with fraudulent activities. So, and that's the bad thing because day trading is so real, but it has been like right away been taken away from the realness of it to the darkness where it's being utilized as a tool to scam others. Of course, I'm gonna be cautious. That's why I never got into it in the first place. But once I got into it, there has to be a belief that, oh no, 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 I see past the bullshit, so now I'm jumping in. That's the phase one. Phase two is now understanding that you're drowning. You're in the water where you thought you can swim because you believe you can swim, but he didn't understand the like the mental, the I don't want to say mental strength. That might be it, but you didn't understand all the mechanism behind the idea of understanding the market. So therefore, the result can only be coincidental at first or accidental later on when you start now accidentally tapping into reality. You see what I'm saying? Your first result is coincidental, meaning when you press buy or sell, whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. You don't know what you're doing, right? And later on, once you start to get a grasp of it, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, let me understand fully it. Now it's accidental because you're gonna accidentally find a mentor. The mentor that you're going to find to lead you to the promised land is gonna be accidental. I'm talking about like field of dreams. Someone just appears like, nah, we're not selling the farm. Build and they will come. Build baseball field, man. We're gonna have Ray Liotta in there playing some, looking like Derek Cheater, and that's who's gonna be there. The legends. Put your mind into it, see it. Once you see it, the legends are gonna be there to guide you through. Once you see it, let me say this again. Once you see it clearly, the legends are going to be there to guide you through. Sounds simple, yes, it is simple. It is very, very, very simple. But that simplicity is what's difficult to grasp. Why is that? Because it's too simple. It's so simple, but that it's so simple that it's difficult because our brain is not wired for simplicity like that. We like to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's kiss. Keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid simple, right?" But however you wanna manipulate the acronym. But when things are so simple that it becomes difficult, like speaking Chinese per se, it's so simple that it's difficult. Go around your neighborhood and ask somebody like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna don't ask them what's the hardest language to learn, but ask them, yo, what do you think about Chinese? Like, you think it's a difficult language to learn?" Be like, "Oh yeah, 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 it's so difficult." But I can assure you that it's so simple, and that's what makes it difficult because we don't speak like that. That structure, that's what makes it difficult because your brain is wired a different way. So now you gotta simplify the way your brain is wired, and you don't know how. You don't know how. You know, just like in the alphabet, you don't know what sound the letter Q makes, right? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't, because you're not worried about it. You just pronouncing it because you got into the game where the alphabet was already there. You just have to connect letters and speak it. You're not worried about what this letter in particular, what sound does it make. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not studying phonetics. You're not sounding the letters. So therefore you cannot explain it to somebody. And I'm speaking like you can take someone that's, the only language in the world that they know is English. And when you ask them, can you teach me English? I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell you, what do you want to know? So basically you're playing the translator. I can Google that. You know what I mean? If I wanted a translator, I can just Google it. I'm asking you to teach me English from zero, stage zero. I don't know nothing. You go ahead and teach me this thing called English. We wouldn't know how. We wouldn't know how. We just know how to speak it. We don't know how to teach somebody like right. So then we would have to simplify this language to the point where you will get somebody, at a pupil stage, and then gradually bringing them to see how to combine these, what the letters or words or the phonetic side of it, and then creating syntaxes and big phrases and all that. But how do you break it down to a point where you have to start from point zero to make me understand? And that's when ICT comes in. That's when ICT comes in. When ICT comes in, once you discover ICT accidentally, as I said, because you've been trading coincidentally, you've been winning, you've been losing, you've been buying stocks, you've been selling stocks, whether you won or lost, all that was accidental. Sorry, all that was, what was the word? These two words that I was trying to alternate. Meeting ICT or being mentored by ICT is accidental, but your winnings and your losses were coincidental. That's where I was at. And so when you press a button to buy and you are winning, that's actually the worst thing that can happen, because now you would think like, oh, I know how to trade now. I can just do this every day. And then when you lose, you might just jump over the bridge. And at the beginning, if you lose, you might just give up. You're like, nah, this is not it. Let me go back to doing what I know best. What they will be, you're an engineer or you're a doctor, you're a nurse, or you play some type of sports. Let me just focus on what I'm doing, because this day trading thing is not it. It seems like gambling, right? But if your intention of entering the market or understanding this whole day trading thing was from a passionate space, like, oh, I find this interesting. Let me try to learn this thing here without quitting anything that I'm doing right now, but let me just learn this. Then your loss at the beginning would not sway you from continue, the education aspect of it, just trying to understand, because you were not doing it as a be all type of thing. You were just trying to understand what is this thing called day trading. So, and then if you won, you're like, I won, but I'm trying to understand, why did I win? I entered here, but like, so what? Do I just press a button when it's green? Do I just press sell when it's red? Or is there like some type of science or a system or strategy, should I say, behind it? So then, as you're doing your research, I hope you find ICT. You may find some other gurus that's telling you this and that. Oh, buy for my course, send me money, I'll teach you that, which is all fine. That's like selling the Bible or selling the Quran or whatever scripture book, religious book that people are there, which is free. The knowledge is free. The knowledge about the day trading and understanding the market is actually free. But how you receive it, maybe someone want to sell you this knowledge, because you don't know where to find the free, like where he got it from, right? You're thinking, oh, he must have been mentored by somebody, so he deserves my money. So now you're giving this person your money, he's making money from you, and then you're not learning anything that allows you to execute in the market without that person. What if that person dies? You're not able to execute on your own because you don't know. Do you need a preacher to read the Bible? No, you can read the Bible on your own and understand the words in the Bible. Or if you're for Buddhists, you can read the Buddha teaching on your own and understand what Buddha was talking about. So you don't need somebody to be a middleman between the knowledge of day trading and you mastering it. But you don't know where to find it. So accidentally, I hope you come across ICT, because all the knowledge are free, the mentorship are free. But then it becomes a question, are you going to be able to understand what ICT is telling you? This is like being in a classroom, the teacher is talking. Let me bring it back in my computer science classes where I didn't understand anything. But I'm pretty sure there's someone next to me that understands everything that the teacher is saying. So if he understands what the teacher is saying, And me, who doesn't understand, like I understand how to write an algorithm and all that, but every time I put it in the compiler, it never gives me the return that I want, the zero. So I had to drop out of that whole program, you know, when I was going to university, right? Why is that? Because the teacher is talking, I'm not receptive, even though I'm listening. I'm just not hearing or understanding what the teacher is saying. But there has to be another student who understand fully what the teacher is saying. So that person has the right to create a group of people that don't understand, like myself, and we gotta pay this kid for him to take his time to now anchor this knowledge onto us because we were not able to get it directly from the teacher. So this is what I'm saying. So when you see somebody selling you a course or anything like that, yes, the advice is like you don't need to. You don't need to buy any course to learn how to day trade. But because you didn't understand the free knowledge that that person understood, that's why that person packaged the knowledge very nicely, and now he's selling it to you because you need a secondary type of teachings to understand. Maybe you might need a like a third party. You know what I'm saying? However, your brain works or function, how it's wired, you may be able to understand it right away from the free knowledge, or you need a mentor that took it from the free knowledge. Now he packaged it in a way that now, oh, you can understand. So the onus is on you, however you receive the knowledge. All I'm saying is there's gonna come a time you're gonna come across ICT accidentally. And that accident now is gonna slowly wire your brain to understand what the market is doing and simplify things to the level of the Chinese language. The Chinese language is not difficult. It's just too simple for your brain to understand the structure of it because you are not wired to speak like that. You like the complex phrases and complicated, analogy and theories and whatever language that you speak. Especially the English language. Like, you have all these, verbs, adverbs, and syntaxes and stuff like that. But now it's like, you're dealing with tones, tonality. You no longer, we're talking musicality here. Chinese is dealing with tonality, musicality, not so much emphasis on the syntaxes and, you know, the cute words that you would have used. No, we're not doing that. So once you start to rewire your brain to simplify it, that's the only that's the only time that you have a chance to learn Chinese. So it's the same thing. It's only once you encounter ICT, SMC concept, and you start reading into it, and you really get to know the mentor of all mentors. That's the only time now you can slowly move from the bridge because you're about to jump over the bridge because you've been taking so many losses. You're ready for suicide, you know? And accidentally, if you come across, and I hope, I don't want to say if, let me say this, accidentally, when you come across ICT and SMC concept from any student of his out there, eventually you want to hear it from the teacher. And hopefully you can sit there, take it as a lesson, take it as you in a computer science class, and now you want to pay attention to the teacher and not to a middleman that's regurgitating the same thing that the teacher already said, but not better because now your brain cannot understand the teacher, but you can understand a third party. Try to not be wired only to hear the information when it comes in a different way. Try to be able to understand the information from the source so that you're able to see clear that the market, the price action, does the same thing every day. And It's kind of like a paper route, I would say. A kid gets up, jump on a bike, he decides to go left or right. See, that's what the market does every day. The market's open. New York Exchange, Tokyo Exchange, London Exchange. The price action would go left or right. It's either it's gonna go down to the level of liquidity that's on the buy side or the sell side. Again, I'm understanding now after losing 17 accounts. Why? Because it's the process. It's the process. And all of us rode bikes when we were kids. We fell down. And then eventually we found our balance. And then once we found our balance, what did we do? We tried to let our hands go. What happened then? We fell down again. And what happened then? Okay. And then after that, what happened? Oh, now I can close my eyes with the hand, no handles. And then, now you can close your eyes riding a bike, eating a sandwich at the same time. That's the same thing. It's so simple, but it's difficult at first. That's what the stock market and trading, day trading is about. Like, it's so difficult at first, but the essence of it is just simple. I'm gonna leave you with that, and then I'll come back again tomorrow because tomorrow is Christmas or Christmas Eve, but we'll see. I'll try to make more of these audios and trying to post it on somewhere where you can either listen to it before going to bed or listen to it in the morning. I don't want it to be visual. It's not gonna be a YouTube video where there's images across and me showing the chart and no. At this phase, it's about understanding and hearing someone else that might be in the same situation that you're going through or you've seen but you weren't sure because it is clear that day trading is a long journey. Yeah. You can't talk to your colleagues about it because they'll say, listen, man, stop gambling. We don't believe in gambling. You might as well go